We'll see if they can do the same thing. Not many people are able to kind of cut Dignitas off after a first game win like that.
Yeah, Dignitas played the most game 3s out of any team in the NALCS, so talked about it last time. And then when they beat Immortals, and now they're in another game 3 here. So Dignitas, not without their faults, despite beating the top 3 teams and having good head-to-head records against TSM and currently CLG. But Team Dignitas want to keep this up. They want to have that possibility of a first-round bye, depending on what happens at the top of the standings, and the potential to play a better opponent in the first round of being the third seed.
It looks like this game, they're taking away the comfort from Dignitas. The Janna was comfort. They got to gate last time from Adrian. Now they take away the Tristana. Keith was happy to play Varus. Few back and forths, and Dignitas stick with Camille in a ban phase.
Maokai first pick.
Yep.
Let's see what happens here. Kalista Janna for Dignitas.
Elise still left up on this one as well.
I feel like you don't have to pick Elise this early and stuff like that. I would say Kalista Janna, but Gragas, I feel like you don't want to have both those go over to Echo Fox. So, but I just thought Janna was becoming such a high priority now for both of these guys. But I feel like, I guess it's understandable, because if you draft Janna this early on, then she could get countered by the rest of the draft.
Right. 8 seconds left. Most teams definitely using the first of these 2 picks, and then a refresh of that timer.
A lot of discussion, yeah.
Discuss everything.
It's like, we know we want to pick Varus here.
Absolutely.
Let's talk about what we're picking next.
The protection for that was the Janna. It doesn't look too bad for Janna against his composition. You're going to get bounced around, but also be able to save someone. They don't want it as of yet, but they will be able to safely take Froggen's Corki.
Oh, Kassadin? Cassiopeia?
Cassiopeia.
Both of the cast champions would play well into Corki. Kassadin's like the scaling counter. Cassiopeia is the one that kind of can go back and forth and get really scrappy with him early, which I feel you want to do against a player like Froggen, who tries to be incredibly involved with his team.
I give credit to Keen. It is so scary playing a Cassiopeia against a Chain of Corruption, Twisted Advance, possibly always coming at you, but his positioning has been fantastic in these cleanses to keep himself safe.
Well, it is a cleanse tax on his summoner spells. You'd like to take something else there to have more 1v1 potential, but this means that if Exhaust does continue to stay for Froggen there, they'll have a way to remove that.
Second phase here, Rumble and Gnar as the top laners get tagged on, figuring this Maokai going to Acadian the junglet as it has past games. They're ready to see what they'll be fighting on the island. Tarek gets banned out. Gabe won't be having that. And what is our final ban here? Probably another one towards the top side. Could take out Adrian's support list. And it is a support. Alistar off.
I feel like you pick your support here unless you feel like bottom lane has been the decider.
Yeah.
Bottom lane has been deciding the early parts of this match. You pick your support here, see what they're going to pick top lane, and then no, they're going to do it the other way around. So they're picking their top laner, a neutral, doesn't lose too many matchups that aren't banned out. And then the that's why the Rumble ban came through. It makes a little more sense now. And then the Gnar was kind of taken away as well. So it's pretty good to pick Shen here unless Brandini's going to pull out Fiora. Then you do have to worry a little bit. But they're saying that bottom lane just has so much to do with who's winning the early parts of the game, because whoever got that first kill bottom lane got the first turret, right? They got the first turret on Dignitas' side in the first game. Echo Fox got that first kill, rotated top, got first turret, and then got tempo advantage. So that's why Team Dignitas are saving Adrian's pick for last here.
They go with the Poppy once again. He felt very strong on it. And it was strong. Player of the game for Brandini once again, going on the Yordle with the hammer.
I just think it's super strong. Like, Poppy in general just has a lot more damage. It was the champion that everybody's like, ah, man, she does so much damage. It was like when people first started complaining about how much damage Poppy did, or like tanks in general, right? It's the Sunfire, Iceborne Gauntlet era of the top lane tanks. And now he's going to stop some engages, but the final pick there for Adrian, the Blitzcrank. I love this. It's a good counter to Janna as well. There's a few counters, things like Sona and Soraka for lane phase, but then late game, the Janna picks. If you can get a hook onto Keith, and I know that his reputation kind of precedes him in terms of being a hook magnet, He had a really good last game, did a lot of damage, was able to stay safe, and he's going to have to do that again this game, but there's more pressure on him. It's not a Soraka that's just firing away from the back lines. It's going to be a Blitzcrank firing from the front lines, trying to get picks on this team.
Gate, I think, will change. I'm looking at his summoner spells right now. He's got 5 seconds
to
get off flash.
See what
Steal,
happens.
but he should be fine as he gets into game. We will have to see game 3 between Echo Fox and Team Dignitas. Going live, about to be on the Rift. Hashtag FoxWin, hashtag DigWin. And Gate did take exhaust. He was just being a bit of a troll as they loaded into game, but absolutely having a great time from that bot side. Now on the Janna, he's got to go up against Adrian's Blitzcrank. Third play for him on this split, and definitely a game changer in the laning phase.
And we'll see. Dignitas want to stay near the top of the standings, not have a slide like CLG just did, and try to get one of those top spots.
Teams towards the end of the split sometimes talk about how it's easy to get a little complacent when you feel like some games are just going to go your way. Other games you might have to prep a little bit more for. They always say it's so hard to kind of stave off that mentality no matter what. If you're so far ahead, it kind of just sets in. And Dignitas is trying to keep their head in the right spot here. Echo Fox might have their number as we get into game 3. Looks like a lot of bottom side focus here to start things off for Echo Fox. Get the vision of Dignitas.
And Echo Fox still have the possibility of going to playoffs. They win all 3 of their matches, and Envy lose all 3 of theirs, which Envy had the hardest remaining schedule, which could be a possibility, but Echo Fox would have to take down Dignitas here, and they'd have to beat Immortals and Cloud9. So Echo Fox would have to prove that they are worthy of being a playoff team to take Envy's spot, and even then, it's not going to be easy for them because they play whoever's third seeded. They have to have a very good run. But Echo Fox as an organization has never been in playoffs.
Right.
So they want that so badly. Every time I talk to this team when they're slightly ahead in the standings, when they have their first 2-0 week, which is the first week of this split, they're always very excited, saying like, hey, we haven't made playoffs before. It's finally time to do it. No 7th place, no 10th place this time. And it all falls apart near the middle almost every single time. I hope the dream is still alive. And they're invading, looking for a pull on something.
Looks like Gate's actually just going to stay to lane. It is a Maokai.
Yeah, there was the leash, yeah.
Maybe that red leash, but not this time around. They're going to see late top lane entries and know that that is going to be happening. Starting things off in the mid lane. Keen's going to let that push a bit, so he'll have the next few waves nice and easy to farm at the turret.
Yep, this was the matchup from game 1 as well, where Keen did incredibly well on the Cassiopeia. Got himself player of the game, is trading back and forth. And Altec and Adrian getting some damage on the Gate. There's a reset and a little bit of that cheeky last bit of damage there from Ren.
I like that. He said, just let me get one javelin in him.
Level
we'll be good
2
to go.
is the hook up.
They also have the ignite to that exhaust, so the kill pressure is there for Dignitas. Keith and Gate more than happy to let that one push up, so Adrian can't play the brush control. Things are nice and safe here on the bot side.
Yeah, Adrian was bluffing. He had 4 seconds left on his hook by the time he walked towards Gate. So he was actually 6 seconds when they leveled up.
It's great, too, because the hand still has animation.
Yeah.
On this one, it's like clamp, clamp, clamp. It's almost up.
You're watching that hand.
Cadian coming through. Says, I found you. That's all he really needs at this point.
And the Maokai just gets through the jungle so quickly, so ends up being able to track the enemy jungler there.
Oh! Yes, trade.
Corrupting Potion and the back and forth trades, but the Warlord's Bloodlust will help out a whole bunch. Froggen, low mana pool. Same story. Oh, yeah, this matchup is kind of just, you pretend that you're both bruisers and you fight each other over and over again.
Baited.
Yeah. It's actually a fun matchup. This is actually one of my favorite ones, to be honest. Like, people are like, oh no, tank fight, but I actually think that both these tanks deal a decent amount of damage to each other. And you can outplay it. Like right there, Someday went for the shield for himself, right as the buckler came through.
Yep, and then would have Spirit's Refuge if they actually went to go hard.
And you can push him out of the Spirit Refuge if he like uses it too early and
That's
stuff.
pretty interesting.
So
Watch out for that
But yeah, the Poppy with the W countering the Shen E is kind of the big thing. But look at that. Shrimp actually gets down to the bottom side. Adrian, he could go aggressive here. That's when they'll give it away. You can't Howling Gale both sides. There's the knock. They're going for Keith.
Beautifully done. Gonna walk him against the wall. He doesn't have much left or right position to move into. Ren's out the first kill. That goes over to Altec. Summoners were using the bot side, so expect a rinse and repeat from the junglers here.
He who wins the bottom lane wins the game has been so far what's happened in this series.
Yes.
And Dignitas start off with a focus on the bottom side, even though they knew that Shrimp was there after Acadian saw it. They're just gonna, shorted it a little bit off to the wrong side. And someday, we were talking about how good he's been looking lately. He's actually been kind of getting bopped at the top lane.
Few struggles in the
By
late
Brandini
phase.
early game.
We'll see this down in the bot side again. The for sure flash ignite immediately.
Yeah. The way that looked,
You're not going anywhere.
I actually really like the way that Adrian played that, because that looked like Adrian was running towards Gate, and he was going to try to hook him over the minions. Huh?
Oh, Froggen might have to blow his flash here. Keen just out of mana to throw the fangs
He blew
out.
his exhaust, though, onto Keen. So that's kind of what they got out of that, was the exhaust. We couldn't continue to Twin Fang. But Adrian with the roam, getting summoner spells out after having a successful bottom lane play. But I love the way that he played it, where he ran and looked like he was going to go for Gate.
Yeah.
Gate kind of freaked
Especially
out,
with
went off to the side, and then he went for Keith.
The 3 caster minions sitting right in front of Keith probably made him feel very safe.
Yes.
From where he was.
And that's the thing, is Gate was kind of outside of that.
Yeah.
So it was like, Kate's like, oh god, I'm going to die. And he starts backing up. And then it's really Keith who was the target, and Adrian with the flash knock-up into the slow that came out afterwards from just making sure that the Gragas was there, and then waiting for the pull.
Inventory synergy from Dignitas. That's just a word placed by Altec, so his pink goes away. Refillable potions grabbed up pretty early, so they don't have to do the extra cost of always buying potions. Little things playing in favor of Dignitas here in that 500 gold lead. Haven't seen any teleports come from top lane, as we're just hitting level 6.
Yeah, and we're seeing, like you said, refillable for everybody on Dignitas, including Keen. The corrupting potion builds out of it, so everybody just not trying to have to buy a bunch of biscuits this game. So this bottom lane makes sense as well for the support, where you don't have that sustain except for the relic shield, and you're going to be in a 2-on-2 where you have a double ranged lane that you're trying to pull in, so you can walk up, miss a hook, and not be out of the lane for the rest of it.
Just a quick back. Looks like they actually decided to say, I was like, you only have 500 gold. Are you really going to back? And they're just buying time. Sometimes you get bored as the lane pushes early. No jungle pressure. And you have enough vision to know that you're safe. Good little back and forth between Brandini and Someday. The wet noodle fight begins.
How about you, man? These noodles aren't wet. They're going back and forth. Smack each other with them.
They have to be somewhat wet, or then they just break.
No al dente.
Oh! Long range grab.
Catch these hands, Gate.
Ooh.
Adrian going after him. Oh, man. That's really aggressive. Yeah, I like this from Adrian, though. Diverse style.
Always does. Kind of has his own play style that you have to be ready for. Bringing in a few of the champions, only playing the other ones that you then have to ban out.
Yeah, we almost never talk about Adrian as like one of those top tier supports, but
absolutely,
he does make plays.
Ridiculous. One hit after the other. You got to remember, if summoners are down in this lane, it looks like they may be able to finish off the kill.
The shield.
He's going to live. He does have the mana barrier.
Oh,
it's going to be
shield.
huge. Storm Shield comes up. Adrian now, or Acadian, sorry, comes around the side. And what a fight. And they were fighting in a whole wave of minions as well. So that hold on from Gate was huge.
And you saw what happened there is Keith held on for so long. He actually stopped stutter stepping his attacks and just made sure that he was running away and not in turret aggro because he was waiting for Gate. There was definitely a call out on how long they had until the Eye of the Storm was back up for the shield from the Janna.
How often do you actually come out on top of the lane where the Blitz is hitting every one of his hooks? Not very often.
Yeah, it was an exhaust onto Altec, so he wasn't getting as much damage off, and then he waited until a little bit later to pull the spears. He almost died right before, but he got it off simultaneously, but it's still, because of the exhaust, that's the factor there. Yeah, gets knocked up, gets exhausted, so he's trying to throw spears in, has to wait, there's the heal, and right there, yeah, it's just barely. If that exhaust didn't come out, that's the difference maker right there. And Adrian, it's like, oh, nope. So yeah, Keith was making sure he didn't draw too much minion aggro, didn't get in range of turret, and didn't auto-attack every time that he went through his attack, and they were up, because he would have died otherwise. So just the call out there on how long until the shield.
I think this is that calmness Gate was talking about right before this game, is we usually don't have the problems you see on stage in our practices. And I think that would have been those situations not going their way, losing a few too many members. Here, they're able to orchestrate very nicely and play those situations we usually see Dignitas coming out with.
Yep, and flashes are back up now for the Echo Fox bottom lane. So a pull doesn't mean you have to fight anymore.
Yeah.
And bottom lane control, in terms of just they pushed it up, this will lead to an Elder Dragon.
They got to keep their farm up. You can see Heath clearing that out as Altec and the rest of the team have time to breathe. That's Infernal. They're going to be very, very happy about that. We'll see if Fox tries to enter in and see if there's a party here. Heath approaches for just a moment. Chain of Corruption down. And that's the Fate's call to come in. Actually pulls him right into the Nature's Grasp, but they're going to be able to get out of this situation. Flash talk coming in from Someday as you thought it might have been over. It just started for Dig. They come back hot after the Infernal.
Yeah, the global advantage there was the big difference in my mind, because they were going to get that Infernal Drake no matter what. Keith went for the ultimate and said, all right, let's try this. And then they overcommitted. And Brandini didn't have TP from earlier. And Someday had both TP and he had his Stand United, which he used to get into that fight. The taunt flash, perfect. Gate didn't even have time to react with his ultimate, the Monsoon, to try and knock him away.
The win lane win game, but they left lane. They left lane.
Fools, the fools.
Unfortunate situation there. Great for Dig, and Dig fans, obviously. Dragon picked up. Keith running up to this one. They're going to drop the turret, but pressure. The 3v3, Storm Shield. Shrimp takes the heated up shots. That's probably going to mean the fight. Howling Gale stops him from getting away, but he gets pushed away from the Monsoon. Brandini comes in for the kill with the Buckler, smites him down. And now they're going to be going for the extended fight. Dig stays a bit longer than they wanted to. Gonna quiet him down, but Adrian can't silence the full fight. Someday now trying to run for his life. Froggen with the big one loaded up next, and he's gonna use that to finalize the kill. Well, Gate steals it away. The KS, kill secured.
Gate, another Sightstone. Burly this time, though. So no Ardent Sensor this time. Didn't have that snowball going.
Let's see this again.
Adrian, what are you doing? He pulls in Acadian. They don't finish the turret. It gets shielded by Gate, who flash shielded to save the damn turret. And then Acadian gets pulled in. They just completely helped Acadian get in there. Didn't have to flash, didn't have to gap close until after. And that was just one support flashing, shielding the turret, and outplaying, and the other one getting outplayed, pulling in, thought they'd be able to follow up and have an advantage.
Look what happened. They got it back in the lane. Win lane, win game.
Yep.
That's exactly what happened there. Fox feeling super confident coming back into these fights, and they should. Dignitas doesn't have any of that forward vision. They have not seen Fox coming out of the base, and Dig thought they had the extra seconds to grab the turret. Now we're 1-1. Looks like Echo Fox is going to be able to hold this top side.
Yeah.
And we have swapped sides of the map.
Exactly. Went 1-for-1 in the turrets. What happened is Someday TP'd in, was like, I can't really get anything.
Yeah.
Walked up, smacked the turret, finished it off, got 650 gold for himself. But now, it's all over the place. Pretty even game right now with the 4 kills to 3, but Dig up in gold at the moment because of first turret, and they also have an Infernal Drake.
Bit of a lane win for Altec. And Adrian, CS-wise, the amount of fights that have been going on down there, very even. This has allowed Altec to farm up quite a bit more here. We'll see how this kind of overflows now into the top. Fate's call is up. Adrian with another grab. Flash is down. So it looks like they may just hold steady here. Anyone that's the caboose, as I call it, the last one in a long line of leaving an area, it becomes very dangerous.
It's always kind of hard to navigate those rotations, too, because as a tank, you usually want to be in front, and now you have to kind of like slow yourself down, get behind the slowest person. Froggen actually getting pushed out and having to flash away from Keen. So Keen actually gets a win in that mid lane, and that's going to give them mid lane priority. That's big.
Ooh, trying to swing it just to the side.
Yeah, the fact that they're going to get some damage on this mid lane turret, and now there's no flash on Froggen. Someday will come around. They're going to help clear out these wards. They didn't really have many to place themselves. Shrimp doesn't have anything. And there's a hook, but
This is
gotcha. I don't want it. I don't want it.
all right.
Yeah.
Not a very big cooldown for Silence, but they do need to use the Fate's Call to get him out.
Yeah.
And probably need to rethink the engages in that lane if Teeth and Gate start stepping up.
Yeah, it's the fact that it's so even, but it's a Janna who's going to offer that shield, offer the disengage. So as soon as Adrian went in, they didn't really want to fight it because Acadian kind of was around the area and they had Shrimp on the bottom side. Kind of the rule is don't make that play unless you know where the enemy jungler is. And now Froggen with the package gets back fast.
Yep.
Trinity forced to the top side. And they're going to get this turret before there is a response.
Some days kind of hanging around in the jungle. So very easy for Brandini to clear that on the bot side, giving the top side of his team to figure
Fight
out
over
what's
red
next.
buff? Fight over red buff. All right. So
Seems it.
they brought another member to the fight. Noodle Party. Up. Nope. And red buff lives. All right. But does he go back for it?
I don't know.
He did.
Dig's able to get the turrets. They have to focus on top, spreading themselves a little thin. And yep, some days able to just take this one down, knowing Brandini can't give up any more of the CS on the bot side.
Yep, he's using that wave. And
Actually
Cloud
won't
Drake,
be
20 seconds.
pushed out too far either. It was going to be a back from Someday, but he says, I'm going to get one more push on this wave. 1,600 gold, so he actually has quite a bit to buy when he goes back in terms of defensive items. But one more wave, he's back, so that probably means team hang out until I can stand united to you or teleport with those items.
Yeah, Cloud Drake in 5 seconds here. Blue buff up, red buff up. There's a lot of prep that Dignitas can do for the Dragon. They're just going to get some mid-turret damage here. I feel like, you should back Someday. He's got 2,000 gold.
Yeah.
We're also seeing Brandini go for what looks like parts of it's the Spectre's Cowl, parts of whatever he's going to turn that into. I would assume it's possible he goes for a Adaptive Helm up against Cassiopeia and Shen. It's not awful.
Yeah.
But then Righteous Glory for the Poppy instead of going for the Sunfire. Oh, trying to look for those engages. There's the smite. It's not going to open the eye again. They're going to pick up the Rift Herald here as really Dignitas get mid-turret priority. They get out safe, though.
The outer three are down. Not too hard to keep that minion wave prepped up. It may be, though, against Altec and against Keen on Cassiopeia and Callista.
Flank.
Going to start gathering in. Rift Herald is used. The minions are going to be there. Should be a huge chunk of damage here with full health. And they should be able to hit the final touches on the turret.
Yeah, Someday still on the top side, pushing it out. They're going to trade back turrets, though. They're just trading. It's eye for an eye in terms of turrets. And there goes Acadian. He went in.
Locked on to Adrian. They come back. Fate's Call goes back out. Oh, he grabs in Brandini. Did he want Brandini,
the stun!
The Petrifying Gaze hits 3 members of Fox, and they have to turn once they unturn from Stone. 5-4. Can Dig pick up more here? 3 members left on Fox. Dignitas regains control of the map.
Damn, Keen, you're seeing how he played the matchup in game 1. Won it, got player of the game. Clean is online right now. Clean the machine in the mid lane. He is doing so much work. And that right there, the Petrifying Gaze, when everybody's looking for these disengages, these engages, trying to go back and forth, counter, say, all right, you took a turn of engaging, we'll disengage. Vice versa, go back and forth. He had one right there that locked them up, threw down the miasma afterwards, and that was really well played from the mid laner there for Dignitas. We'll see that one more time here. Acadian went for the flash W. Kind of a futile move there. And then Brandini comes through. And then the stun onto the Janna. You saw Gate walked up to Monsoon and disengage, and he got stunned there. Keen read the intention, saw the Janna walk up, and he got him before he got the ulti off.
Fast fingers for Keen on the cast. 1-0-3, as he only misses out on 1 kill that really wasn't even in his lane.
Yeah, who is the bot lane one?
Yep, goes back to now start finalizing some more items, stacking up that tier, which he is at 552 of 750 currently.
Looks like they heard a little bit of what Dash was saying was on the desk with the Bramble Vest, where nobody had a Bramble Vest in the last game up against the Soraka, but Someday's going to have a Bramble Vest this game up against Brandini, who has Grasp. It'll cut that. It'll cut Acadian's healing, Froggen's Warlords. Everybody's healing in this game. So there's just little bits, and it's going to be really good against everybody across the board. It's a good purchase if you get auto-attacked.
Quite a big item and locket finish for Shrimp. Acadian only sitting on the Aegis as of right now. Very big shield to stave off the AoE damage coming from Froggen. Keith's piercing arrows, hail of arrows as well. And everybody's setting up vision here as they make their way out of base.
Yeah, but you're looking at CS advantages for Altec and Someday in their respective lanes.
Very much so.
And it looks like Echo Fox have geared towards team fighting with the Righteous Glory, whereas Someday actually has better split pushing items. And he's going to try to pull Brandini to the side lane. We saw how Brandini was just using his ultimate to wreck team fights. Now, it's going to be a little harder for him to actually do that with the Shen trying to pull him off to the side and grab his attention towards other lanes. Froggen, Infinity Edge after the Trinity Force. We see a lot of Rapid Fire Cannon second, but this is going to be more for those big, bursty magic damage crits.
What's the next move? Pretty good push by Brandini. He's got about a wave and a half to crash into Someday. It's like an easy cleanup down there. Teleports up and stand united for Someday if these guys need to match a fight. Right now, everything's getting pretty quiet on the home front. Fox not enjoying the fact that they lost that last fight. Also don't have the vision to get to these second-tier turrets just yet. Kind of the same thing with Dig, though. They're giving each other a lot of respect at this point. They're waiting for a pull. We're pretty much waiting for a mistake on the side of Echo Fox.
And I think Keith is actually getting starved slightly here.
Yeah.
The CS, he's down in it, but Altec now up pretty much completion, like half an item at this point. And the big thing that stands out to me is just the levels, right? Altec 2 levels up over Keith, who is maybe going to hit 10 here, but he's grouped with 2 other people.
Yeah. It's always the share game for them now. And Froggen, we know how much he loves CS. He's going to be getting basically a free lane to himself for the CS that does come in. So Keith is going to have to stretch himself to find this.
Yeah, and Altec gets those advantages on the side. And look at this. Well, they're just face checking. They're going in. They're trying to start a fight.
TPs from both. One is a stand united, and that is going to be Acadian going down. Huge damage onto Keith and Gate as they try to get towards the mid lane. Froggen's also on the left, only delivering in the missiles, but it's just hitting a brick wall right now. Brandini doing as much as he can to extend the time of this fight, but eventually goes down. A triple kill coming in for Keen, as well as the fight Altec had on the top side there, mano a mano.
Yeah, triple kill, clean, clean, clean coming out. Once again, that Baron's going to go to Dignitas. There's no TP, and there's only a Corki. Froggen, the sole survivor there. Dignitas, like, game 1, it looked really clean from them in terms of macro. Game 2, there were a lot of worries from Dignitas fans, and Echo Fox looked to have them dead to rights after winning the beginning of that game. This one, though, we're seeing the hook in. Acadian's not that tanky yet. Gate wanted to walk up and go for the ultimate there and had to take an extra second. And even though Brandini ulties Altec out, Keen is the one who's dealing so much damage here as Shrimp was able to catch Keith. And then Gate's on the wrong side of this fight because he got kind of abandoned, and it became one where the battle lines where Froggen and Keith were completely penetrated by Dignitas, and they're engaged. The Cassiopeia had run so far forward. Whew.
Keen getting quite big now. 1.4 thousand gold up over his lane opponent.
Yep. And
one more cast, and he is fully stacked, and there's the Seraph's Embrace.
Yeah, he's got a Seraph's Embrace, he's got Rod of Ages with 8 stacks, and he's got 10 Dark Seal stacks and a Morellonomicon. We're talking big ticket items here. Even if you just look at the inventories between him and Froggen, Froggen has 2 items, brown bags for boots, and then you have multiple items, 3 items, 1 big completion as well for Keen. 2 of those are scaling items that are almost full, and then he has a fully stacked Dark Seal. Like, this is a lot of gold in the inventory of Keen.
I think they might need to re-look the boots for Corki, too.
So what other champions would not wear boots?
Janna. Well, she could still wear them.
Yeah, she doesn't
Just
just
float.
use them.
Dignitas making quick work of turrets around the map. No benefit of the Mountain Drake this time, just the Infernal Cloud.
Yep.
They'll be able to get themselves around a little faster to make sure these fights are doing a bit more damage.
Exactly. Pushing time for Dignitas. Oh, Adrian fishing for a hook there. This champion was banned against him so much.
Yeah.
Even in the Immortals match, they were banning his Blitzcrank left and right. Like, nope, nope, we don't want to play against that. It's a game changer in the mid game. And it just the first champion pool from Adrian really kind of opened things up for Dignitas as well. And that's going to be the Infernal Drake going over, I believe, without contest, because they're kind of left in their base here on Echo Fox's side.
24 minutes in. The next Infernal going over to Dignitas. He's making them that much more powerful.
Yeah, no backs. They have 1/3 on their Baron buff left. It's going to be Someday being the only one who backs, but he has ways to get out there faster. And they're going to keep pushing because they only have about a minute left on this thing. Backs coming in for Echo Fox. They actually haven't been spotted here. They're sweeping the lane to make sure that there's no lane wards. And push up. They're going to deal a lot of damage to this turret. Rooted on all.
Get it, Storm Shield. I thought Storm Shield was going to maybe bait him in for a little bit longer, but they are playing this one super safe, knowing the minion wave getting thinned out quick. Acadian, however, sees that same thing. Possibly the time to pull the trigger. Adrian flashes in for the silence.
Ren
looks to get himself out and rends the tree down coming in from Altec. They are finding priority targets. Brandini cannot do the same. Can't get to the back line. Held off, and Keen throws down the miasma so no one else can enter or exit as Dignitas starts to tear the base to shreds.
Yeah, what happened there was they used, hold on. Oh, they're still going after Brandini. Get out of here. All right, so they used the QSS. Altec had used it previously when he got hit up there by Keith's ultimate. Just used the QSS on Chain of Corruption. So Acadian said, all right, flash, ulti, CC chain combo, but it was not something that they were able to completely close the distance on. They had that advantage of a 4v5 because Someday wasn't there just yet. But able to use Stand United, keep him alive, and then they weren't able to stick to him. We'll see it again here. There's the Chain of Corruption. There's the QSS, and then they back up. It spreads to Shrimp, spreads to Adrian, and then it's reset now. Acadian goes in, and then the root comes out. But now they can't really follow this. Brandini does hit the Cassiopeia out, and they try to get Adrian, but there was so much stacked into Acadian there who took all the damage from Altec that entire time. And Altec, we've been talking about the whole game. He has so much gold. He's very far ahead right now over Keith. And then in the jungle, you're not buying these gigantic big-ticket items early on. You don't have an enormous amount of resistances. He went from the Cinderhulk to the Swifty boots, not even Ninja Tabis. He's not reducing the damage of the auto attacks there or having that armor. He's trying to go for these engages, not even flash engages either, which is really strange. I haven't seen Boots of Swiftness in a hot minute here. It's been a very long time since I've seen that item on a jungler in particular. Sometimes Moby Boots, sometimes I only Boots of Lucidity if you want to go for flash plays.
I mean, really the only other place you're seeing him right now is if we get some Taric picks in here. You know, Taric maybe sometimes some Swifties, but junglers, you are right.
Get Swifties.
Just getting Swifty.
Oh. Yeah, he's not tanky at all.
When you can pull in the Maokai, that's when you know things are going well for your team. Dignitas continues to roll through this one as the gates open.
They're killing them all.
Goes down as well.
That's
Looks
game.
like Keith and the rest of the team heading for the fountain. Dignitas does again go to 3 games. Consistent as ever. And 13-4, 27 minutes in, they're going to put the final touches on the base now. And it looks like everybody's going to have to hide on the backside with the store. Are they going to get pulled in here? Going straight through. Shrimp says they're going to get cooked up at the end of this one. And Dignitas, they're biding their time. It'll happen eventually.
Adrian.
Another victory for them as they look to get to that 3rd place in the league.
Dignitas, it took them 3 games, but they come out on top, and they'll be ready for their match against Counterlogic Gaming next week. And they have a chance to surge to the top of the standings. Could be a 1st round bye. Could be 3rd. We'll see what happens with them. But Adrian happy there as he punches the ticket for Apollo to go to playoffs 100%. Because Echo Fox are eliminated from playoffs. No possible way they could go.
Right.
And Envy are now locked in.
Now looking at Dig. Great plays, able to structure and orchestrate better plays if they are from behind, but always a 3rd game. That will be punishable. Finding some kind of mismatch in the 2nd game, or whether it's in the 1st, but to go to a 3rd game every time. teams at the top of the list are going to punish that a little bit.
Yeah, the fact that Dignitas have played the most game 3s, they're closing out series, right? They're good in these game 3s right now.
They're getting rift time.
Right? Yeah. They're closing these game 3s out, so the pressure isn't really getting to them.
Right.
But you're seeing kind of the evolution of the series where they'll win the first one. The second one, it looks like something went really awry. It even happened against Cloud9 where what happened in that? And then game 3, that was one they couldn't close out. But now they feel like they understand, let's last pick that support. Bottom lane is what's winning right now. The Janna comes through, then they go for the Blitzcrank to counter, and that made a big difference there, is that they were able to constantly have that pressure of Adrian looking for hooks and almost kind of winning the game single-handedly, no pun intended.
And I think we got Echo Fox on attack, Echo Fox scrim in that second game, where we heard Gate saying things just are more comfortable. You don't see these problematic things that happen on stage happening in our scrims, and we got that in game 2. And we're seeing what this composition can actually do. Keith back in for that one and stayed for game 2.
Yeah, and game 3 looked a lot like it was controlled at the start. There was Fox getting some small advantage. The bottom lane was working out for them a little bit, and they got ganked. But then it came back, and then Keen turned around a very key fight, got some kills, and then it happened over and over again. And the Cassiopeia was able to take over the game there. Like, Keen did a ton of work in that game. But also, it was kind of Echo Fox looking like when they had a lead, they tried once again to keep going for the engages. Acadian, the Swifty Boots, the constant engages, the Flash Ws, onto people like Blitzcrank as well, who just gets fate called away.
It's damage.
It's really interesting to see what happens at that point in the game, because it looked like Acadian felt the pressure was on him to engage, and it was. Brandini's kind of the follow-up or like the secondary engage, where everybody else is the Corki, the Varus, the Janna. The Corki kind of has to say in the back line, the Janna's your disengage, and then Keith on the Varus is really the only other one that can help. And so, like I said in the second game, where whoever had the Janna was like, yeah, we'll wait for you to engage, don't worry about it. But when you're behind and you feel the need to engage on something like a Cassiopeia, then they're going to kite backwards, and you really have to hope that that engage sticks, and they made sure that it didn't. And that's what resulted in a 27.5-minute victory for Dignitas.
It's actually pretty crazy to see. Froggen did 20,000 damage.
He always does.
19,000 damage from Keen. So those two are matching in that sense, but Froggen has the AoE bombs exploding over multiple people. Yeah, he may have done a little bit more, but it looks less over those. With Keen canceling out that one guy, canceling out the next guy, that's more impactful than spreading that damage out in some situations and circumstances.
Yeah, and like Froggen had almost the most damage in the previous game as well. Like, in the game before that. So even when they're losing, Froggen still has good performances numbers-wise, has a very good CSD.
For sure.
Also his
when we always see that.
Like his KDA, like he didn't die this game, even at the end where they were trying to kill him on the fountain. Like was able to survive and outplay.
Great fountain diving.
Yeah, 1-0-1 before that dive, 2-0-1 at the very end of the game.
Yeah.
And that's a scoreline on somebody who just lost a game. And Echo Fox, you know, there's constantly a meme about like Froggen in the mid lane and like, what are you going to be able to do to like play around this guy? And it's kind of like you can play around him, but hope that other things just don't go really wrong in other lanes. But it hasn't been something that Echo Fox has been able to kind of nail down and have those early games convert to mid or late.
There's a lot of star power there, but there has to be another factor shining through for the rest of the team. Well, for now, we are going to head over to Dash and Mark to close out the day.
Idea of how these teams could